Welcome back to the Screaming Cinema channel. Today we have a review of Old on 4K Ultra HD. This is from the physical media release. Popped the disc in my PS5 yesterday to give it a full review and have some thoughts on the film and movies, which I'm going to share with you shortly. First thing I want to talk about is the technical aspects of the film. Talk about video quality, audio quality, and then at the end I'll share my thoughts on the film. So starting out, this is shot on 35mm and does have a 4K DI, which is great. Something you always look for when you're looking at the 4K disc is it's not a upscaled 2K or anything like that. So shot on film, so definitely some film grain on it, but let's go ahead and talk about the video first. The setup of Old in the scene that we're located in is on a beach, have lots of bright greens, blue water, blue sky, white clouds, sandy beaches. Would think you'd be perfect for HDR. However, the color tone that they tried to use in this movie felt a little bit more muted and natural. It was nice to see these real colors and get some good use of the HDR, but it wasn't that really bright pop that sometimes some people like. So that's the first thing. Skin tones look excellent. The beach did look nice. You could see the fine grains of sand. You could see stray hairs on the movie comes with Dolby Atmos and Dolby Audio, as well as the 4K has Dolby Vision. The film is presented in 239.1 aspect ratio, so you do have bars at the top and bottom. And let's talk about the audio a little bit. I was able to listen to this film in my home theater, and the Atmos mix does a great job of presenting you feeling at a beach. You can hear the wind in the air, you can hear the trees rustling above. It's definitely one of the more active tracks that I've heard in a while, outside of maybe Quiet Place 2. But I do really like the track. Sound is perfect. There's not a ton as far as loudness goes where you're gonna really get used to the bass. There's a couple, scary moments or stings here and there. There's a couple high spots where they're able to utilize the bass and sound, but it's just an overall good atmospheric track. Now on to my thoughts about the movie. The film itself, I hadn't really heard a ton about. I knew the premise of family goes to the beach, start aging rapidly, and like M. Night Shyamalan try to figure out what's happening and why they're aging that way. So I kind of understood that concept. I was a little bit surprised how that concept was able to stretch into an hour 45-minute film. They do kick things right off with only about 15 minutes of backstory before the families are getting driven to the beach. But when you get to the beach, it is really interesting. There's action after action, which terrible tragedies occurring, things trying to be found out. And it honestly felt like it was almost an improv acting. Something would go horribly wrong. Oh, a dog died all of a sudden. Everyone runs over and tries to, comprehend what's going on, or something else goes on. There's a lot of interesting things that just seem like the cast is constantly reacting and acting to events that are going on the beach, whether that's aging, whether that's death, whether that's potentially pregnancy or birth, if you've seen on the trailer. So it is interesting how they utilize that and how the film decides to go about that way. There is some really odd camera shots, lots of movement with the camera, 360 movement. We also have interesting zooms and framing of the characters. This is usually when a character is aging, so the next shot we see they're a little bit older, but they want to get some interaction with them at the current age. But it was odd a lot of times where they had just a shot with two people's heads, and it's in between the middle and kind of off-centered. So I thought it was interesting. Acting and performances on this, the acting in lines felt awkward. It seems like maybe part of that was purposeful, as there's couples from different places speaking different languages, and there's different barriers, and everyone's kind of formal, but it does feel a little bit dry for everyone's acting and how they have going on. Also, some things that go on in the film, the characters do seem to be a bit over the top, but I guess, what else would you assume would happen if you're gonna live your entire day at a beach? So that being said, I do recommend the movie. Rated about a 7 out of 10. Go ahead and check it out. I didn't see a ton of upside on the 4K from the Blu-ray, so I'm not sure this is worth an upgrade to 4K if you just want to pick up the Blu-ray, or if you're kind of at that point where you don't have a big enough TV or good enough TV to access that. I think the Blu-ray is just fine on this one, but thanks for checking out the review, and we'll see you guys next time.